Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be making Earl Grey cookies. Per usual, all of the ingredients as well as the measurements will be listed below in the description box, as well as up top here so that you can easily follow along. You can also print out the recipe if you like by going to my website below. And with that, let's get started. Alright, so first up we're going to need some flour, some baking powder, baking soda, salt, an Earl Grey tea bag, or more if you like a little stronger flavor, some butter, sugar, some brown sugar, 1 egg, vanilla extract, confectioner's sugar, also known as powdered sugar, and last but not least, some lemon juice. I have my lemon juice in this container because I have a couple lemon trees in my backyard, and so I just juice them up and put them in here, but if you have store-bought lemon juice, that works just as fine. You're also going to be needing a scale for this recipe because we're going to be measuring out some of the ingredients in grams. Alright, first up we're going to get a medium-sized bowl, and we're going to put this on the scale so we can measure out our flour. Alright, so we're going to be putting in 180 grams of all-purpose flour into this bowl. My scale's a little finicky, so I kind of have to work with it. Put too much, no worries, just put it back until you get to, again, 180 grams. Alright, now we can take this off the scale, because for the remaining dry ingredients, we do not need to use it. Next, we will be adding in half a teaspoon of baking powder, as well as half a teaspoon of baking soda. And half a teaspoon of salt. Lastly, we will be adding 1 Earl Grey tea bag to our dry ingredients. This part, I would say, is up to preference as far as strength of flavor and your preference of that. If you prefer a stronger flavor of Earl Grey tea in your cookies, then you can by all means add more than 1 bag if you would like. So I'm just going to take some scissors and cut open the bag, and then sprinkle the contents into the bowl and mix everything together. Now we're going to set this bowl aside and start working on our wet ingredients. Alright, we're going to start off with a medium to large size bowl, and we're going to be adding our unsalted, softened to room temperature butter into it. Now, it's supposed to be 115 grams, but this stick is 113.5, which I actually measured it on the scale and it was 113 even. I could care about being precise and adding an additional 2 grams of butter to this recipe, but I really don't care to open a whole nother package just to be adding about that much extra to it. So we're just gonna go with the 1 stick of butter. If you don't want to open a whole nother pack and just want to do the 113, it's gonna be fine. Now this actually started off not being as soft as I would like it to, but it's warming up pretty well in my hands, so I'm just gonna kind of smush it around in my hands a little bit, let the warmth of my hands warm up the butter some more so it's easier to work with. Alright, now that my butter is nice and softened, we're just going to open this up and add it to our bowl. Next, we're going to take our hand mixer here, and again, if you have a stand mixer, by all means feel free to use your stand mixer. It's just easier for me with these videos to do my hand mixer. So we're just going to cream the butter until it becomes pale in color and nice and smooth. Alrighty, now that she is nice and creamed, we are going to put this bowl back on the scale because we need to weigh out the granulated sugar and the brown sugar. So for the granulated sugar, I am going to be scooping in 150 grams. And then for the brown sugar, it's going to be 50 grams. Then we're just going to mix this all together for about 3 minutes until it's light and fluffy. Once you're finished with mixing, it should look something like this. I asked how you guys would describe this texture in one of my previous videos, and one of you said it looks like peanut butter. So I don't know, what do you think? Does it look more like peanut butter or cookie dough texture? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Anyways, next we're going to be adding our 1 egg. This recipe does call for a room temperature egg, but honestly, in my experience of home baking, whether your egg is room temperature or not doesn't make that big of a difference. But if you have the time to set it out beforehand, go ahead and do that. If not, no big deal. Finally, we're going to be adding in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract and mixing it all together. Once all of our ingredients are nice and combined, we're going to add in the dry ingredients and mix it until just combined. You don't want to overmix this. So just until all the flour is no longer visible. Once everything is combined, your dough should look like this, which I will agree looks like some very thick peanut butter. Alright, so we're going to move this out of the way and get out our baking sheet. And we're going to line this with some parchment paper and use a medium-sized cookie scooper to scoop out all of the cookie dough and put it on the line sheet. At this time, it doesn't matter the distance between the cookies because we're going to chill them for about 15 minutes, but afterwards we're going to want to space them out a little bit more. So while those are chilling, I'm going to set my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and get my scale back out with a small bowl, and I'm going to be adding in 30 grams of granulated sugar, and this is going to be used to coat the cookies in before we bake them. So it's been about 15 minutes and our cookies are nice and firm and not sticky at all. So what we're going to do is just take a ball of dough, roll it up in our hands, and then roll it around in the granulated sugar until it's fully coated. And then now you're going to want to have a little bit more of a space between them, and with them being rolled up tighter, it helps as well. Now that they are all sugared up, we're just going to pop these in the oven for 11 to 12 minutes or until the edges are slightly golden brown, just like this. Now I did have some crowding happen, as you can see with these ones that kind of smushed together. Don't worry about it, it's not a big deal. They're still soft, still malleable, so you can separate them and they won't look weird. So I'm going to let these cool for a bit, and as those cool, I'm going to work on the glaze, which is a lemon glaze. And I'm going to start by taking a small bowl and putting in 40 grams of powdered sugar. Now, if you're like me and you do not like super lemony flavored things, which I can taste like the tiniest drop of lemon in anything, an easy way to kind of dull it down a bit is to make a standard glaze, which is just powdered sugar and milk, and then you can add in as much lemon juice as you would like to get the level of flavor that you would like. I'm personally going to use just like a couple of drops of this lemon juice because it is very strong being fresh lemon juice. But if you were using lemon juice from the store, you would be using 2 teaspoons of lemon juice and no milk if you liked it with the strong lemon flavor. If you're like me, you're going to have to go off of feel and texture, but a little bit goes a long way when you're making a glaze. It's a lot easier to make it thinner than it is to make it thicker again. So I'm just going to pour in the teeny tiniest bit of milk in order to get it going, and I'm going to mix it together so that it comes together a little bit more. It's still going to be very, very thick at first, and that's expected. Like I said, it's easier to add than it is to take away. So once this becomes the consistency that I would like, I'm going to add in my few little drops of lemon juice just for the flavor, and if it's still too thick, I can add a little bit more milk or a little bit more lemon juice if I want more of the lemon flavor as well. The consistency you're looking for is this, which is runny but still has some body and thickness to it. So I'm going to just put that to the side and bring back the cookies. An easy way to do this is to just scoop your fork into the glaze and drizzle it over top of the cookies. You can also put it in a piping bag or a Ziploc bag, cut the corner off, and drizzle it over that way. I'm pretty lazy today, so I'm just going to use the fork. And here is the final product. They look so good, and trust me when I say they tasted even better. I could not get enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you'd like to see more content like this, maybe follow my socials. It's at Buona Bakes on Instagram and TikTok, which are linked below, as well as check out my website, buonabakes.com, for this recipe, as well as plenty of others that you would like to try. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!